ॐ ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्मविद्या सम्प्रदायकर्तृभ्यो वंशऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः ॐ नमः प्रणवार्थाय शुद्धज्ञानैकमूर्तये निर्मलाय प्रशान्ताय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः ॐ श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम् ॐ शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ॐ करुणावरुणालय पालय मां भवसागरदुःखविदूनहृदं रचयाखिलदर्शन तत्त्वविदौ भवशङ्करदेशिकमे शरणं समस्त ब्रह्म विद्या आचार्येभ्यो ऋषिभ्यो मुनिभ्यो गुरुभ्यो देवताभ्यो नमः परब्रह्मणे नमः श्रुतिमात्रे नमः श्री वेदव्यास वैशंपायनाग्निवल्क्य आद्य शंकराचार्यवर्यादिगुरुभ्यो नमः अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः अथ श्री कृष्ण यजुर्वेदांतर्गत तैत्तरीय उपनिषदः पारायणम् Same devotion, dedication, application of mind with the purpose of getting blessings from Shruti Mata, with the purpose of getting blessing from Guru Parampara, with the purpose of developing our concentration, attentiveness, with the purpose of getting clarity about every mantra that is given to us in the Upanishads. We do both the chanting followed by the study of the Upanishad. Yesterday we came up to the ninth mantra, that is the fourth Anuvakam we have done in Siksha Valli. Now fifth onwards, let us chant Bhurvuvah Swaha iti. Om Bhurvuvah Suvarithi va etastisro vyahrutayah तासामुहस्मैतां चतुर्थीं माहाचमस्य प्रवेदयते मह इति तद्ब्रह्म स आत्मा अङ्गान्यन्या देवताः भूरिति वा अयं लोकः भुव इत्यन्तरिक्षं सुवरित्यसौ लोकः मह इत्यादित्यः आदित्येन वाव सर्वे लोका महीयन्ते भूरिति वा अग्निः भुव इति वायुः सुवरित्यादित्यः मह इति चन्द्रमाः चन्द्रमसा वाव सर्वाणि ज्योतिर्गंसि महीयन्ते भूरिति वा रुचः भुव इति सामानि सुभरिति यजोगंसि मह इति ब्रह्म ब्रह्मणा वाव सर्वे वेदा महीयन्ते भूरिति वै प्राणः भुव इत्यपानः सुभरिति व्यानः मह इत्यन्नम् अन्नेन वाव सर्वे प्राणा महीयन्ते तावा एताश्चतस्रश्चतुर्धा चतस्रश्चतस्रो व्याहृतयः तायो वेद स वेद ब्रह्म सर्वेऽस्मै देवा बलिमावहन्ति स य एषोऽन्तरहृदय आकाशः तस्मिन्नयं पुरुषो मनोमयः अमृतो हिरण्मयः अन्तरेण तालुके य एषस्तन इवावलम्बते सेन्द्रयोनिः यत्रासौ केशान्तो विवर्तते व्यपोह्य शीर्षकपाले भूरित्यग्नौ प्रतितिष्ठति भुवैति वायौ सुवरित्यादित्ये मह इति ब्रह्मणे आप्नोति स्वराज्यम् आप्नोति मनसस्पतिं वाक्पतिश्चक्षुष्पतिः श्रोत्रपतिर्विज्ञानपतिः एतत्ततो भवते आकाशशरीरं ब्रह्म सत्यात्मप्राणारामं मन आनन्दं शान्तिसमृद्धममृतम् इति प्राचीनयोग्योपास्व पृथिव्यन्तरिक्षं द्यौर्दिशो वान्तरदिशाः अग्निर्वायुरादित्यश्चन्द्रमा नक्षत्राणि आप ओषधयो वनस्पतय आकाश आत्मा इत्यधिभूतम् अथाध्यात्मं प्राणो व्यानो पान उदानः समानः चक्षुश्रोत्रं मनोवाक्त्वक चर्ममागस्सग्गस्नावास्ति मज्जा एतदधिविधाय ऋषिरवोचत पाङ्क्तं वा इदं सर्वं पाङ्क्तेनैव पाङ्क्तग्गस्पृणोतीति ओमिति ब्रह्म ॐ ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ अथ श्रीकृष्णयजुर्वेदान्तर्गत तैत्तिरीय आरण्यकान्तर्गत तैत्तिरीयोपनिषदा ॐ यस्माज्जातं जगत्सर्वं यस्मिन्नेव प्रलीयते येनेदन्धार्यते चैव तस्मै ज्ञानात्मने नमः यैरिमे गुरुवे पूर्वं पदवाक्यप्रमाणतः व्याख्याताः सर्ववेदान्ताः तान् नित्यं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहं तैत्तिरीयकसारस्य मयाचार्यप्रसादतः विस्पष्टार्थरुचीनां हे व्याख्येयं सम्प्रणीयते ओमथ प्रथमा शिक्षा वल्ली प्रथमोऽनुवाकः शान्तिमन्त्रः ॐ शन्नो मित्रः शं वरुणः शन्नो भवत्वर्यमा शन्न इन्द्रो बृहस्पतिः शन्नो विष्णुरुक्रमः नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वामेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्म वदिष्यामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतो तद्वक्तारमवतो अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारम् ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः. Salutations to the Lord, to the Parabrahma Tattva, to Shruti Mata, to all the Rishi Muni Guru, Devata Parampara, to Vedavyasa Bhagavan, Vaishampayana Rishi, Yajnavalkya Rishi, Shri Adi Shankara Rishi, and all our Gurus. This Taittiriya Upanishad, before it takes us to the Brahma Vidya teaching, is trying from the beginning to prepare us to be qualified for this Brahma Vidya. For that, all the beautiful aspects, topics, this Upanishad is teaching us. It is telling us the need of our own self-management with our own efforts. It is telling us the need of our own personal management of upadhis with the grace of all the presiding deities by invoking their kripa through prayers. Is teaching us the art of becoming very alert about our entire life. It is teaching us the necessity of having that Medha Shakti in which the goal is always remembered. And it is teaching us the need of purifying our antakarana, freed from all the upata durtakshaya, through the inner and outer variety of karma kanda or our fulfillment of duties. After that, the Upanishad is guiding us to come out of our own individual upadhis to do the upasana, the worship of the total. Thus, it is ensuring this Upanishad, if you and I are serious and sincere about its study, its understanding, and its practice, step by step, this Upanishad is qualifying us for the subsequent teachings of the Brahma Vidya. And it is stressing to us the need of the attitude of Upasana. In that Upasana attitude, we repeatedly think about the phenomena that is happening and repeatedly see the greatness in that, and repeatedly we attribute all that is happening because of samashti, that is Mahat Brahma. Thereafter, the entire samashti, including me, is maintained, managed by that Mahat Brahma. Therefore, anything I need, I ask him, or whatever is needed by me is already given to me by him. More than that, with whatever the things I am given, am I living a life of isolated individuality, which is Maya delusion, or with whatever the things given, am I tuning to the total and serving the totality? In short, whether I see the world outside or see within myself, am I remembering of my own individuality and my own upadhis and my own isolated life, that too of worldliness? Or am I reminded of the totality and dedicating to the totality, tuning to that Mahatattva only, am I living my life? Means, am I ready to forego my own individuality and upadhi, which is a prerequisite for me further to go beyond individual and total and discover the substratum. So, and each of the upasanas that are taught so far are so important. If only we find time, if only we have the interest, if only we have become very, very clear about every technique or training or the teaching that is given, and if only we really seriously, sincerely follow the required transformation in our Vyaktitva of totally tuning to the total, being blessed by the total, not only our personal individual life becomes smoother, our external life also becomes beautiful. More than that, our own internal faculties become so sharp, so subtle, so tuned, ready for the highest journey of meditation after learning from the Guru about the Parabrahma Tattva, which will be the theme in our subsequent Vallis and Anuvakas. So, in the latest one, we have seen the Pangta Upasana exhaustively that was taught to us. How we have to visualize the whole world is set of the Pangtams, so many Pangtams that are there, which are functioning continuously. Thus, not one individual cause for the total. It is a combined effort of so many things put together. In that Adibhutam, the three examples are given are Adi Bhautika Panktam, Adi Daivika Devata Panktam, Bhuta Panktam, and we have seen in the world outside the first one of Lokapanktam. So to in our own subjective life, the Vayu Panktam, which is so essential, the Indriya Panktam as well as the Dhatu Panktam. The Indriya Panktam is managed by the Devatas there. Then the Vayu Panktam is managed by the Loka Panktam there. And the Dhatu Panktam here is managed by the Bhuta Panktam there. So, in no way we can claim to be isolated, separate individuality. If at all it is done, one, there is not sufficient thinking and understanding with us. Second is, as a consequence, we are only creating the problems to ourselves. Therefore, on a higher, deeper thinking, this wrong notion goes away. That's we are separate individual from total. We are a part and parcel of that. It is the amshi, we are the amsha. Total is the angi, we are the anga. In this attitude alone, be attentive. In this attitude alone, that I am the part of total, that total is taking care of me, that I have to live life only for the sake of total. In this attitude alone, the problems get dissolved. Every problem gets dissolved. Because when we this way tune to the total, total caters to all our requirements at a higher level, we become one with the total. Thus, all the glories of the total Mahat Brahma, they all will be ours. Apnoti Swarajyam, Apnoti Manasaspatim, Vakpati, Chakshushpati, all those things indicate that beautiful experiences of the great outer and inner joys, because we are no more identified with one upadhi set, but we have become one with Mahaiti Brahma. So that's what the things told in all the upasanas up to the Panta Upasana. Now comes to us the most beautiful, coveted, and almost no Upanishad concludes or feels fulfilled without touching the topic of the Omkara or Pranava. So, thus, in this Ashtamanuvaka, we are taught about the Upasana of Om, both as Parabrahma as well as Mahat Brahma. It is the only syllable which indicates both of them. So, that is what is taught to us. Yesterday, we tried to see the, what do you say, Sambandha Bhasha Avatarika. Once more, we touch it, then we enter into the Bhasha of this mantra. It's a very good one, very beautiful one, very inspiring, very informative, and it can give us a good push and initiative entering into our own beautiful, deeper, sincere sadhanas. First, we'll chant the mantra, then go to Avatarika, then try to see the meaning. What is that mantra? Chant karo. Om Omiti Brahma Omiti Dagum Sarvam Omityetadanu Krutihasmava Apyo Shravayetya Omiti Samani Gayanti Ogam Shomiti Shastrani Shagam Santi Omityadvaryo Pratigaram Pratigrunati Omiti Brahma Prasauti Omityagnihotramanujanati Omiti Brahmana Pravakshannaha Brahmopapnavaniti Brahmaivopapnoti Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Atha Sambandha Bhashyam Avatarika. So what was said in Avatarika? Bhagavan says, Vyahruti Atmanaha Brahmanaha Upasanam Uktam. Upasana of the Atma of the Vyahrutis, called as the Saguna Brahma or Mahat Brahma, were told. When you come to Vedanta, all the Devata Rupas, clear, please, either Krishna or Rama or all of them, Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, which are in the Purana Kala, can be kept aside. We assess that Mahat Brahma or conditional reality as Saguna Brahma, Maya Shabala Brahma. He alone, for more conduciveness of Upasana, through Rupa and Nama, through the Puranas, later on developed and given to us. Okay, through the Samashti Upadhi, this is what we have to catch. The one who is expressing, he is called as Mahat Brahma. Okay, Samashti. We are all in the Vyashti Upadhi. That Samashti Upadhi Mahat Brahma, reactive alone, through the Maya Shaktis, Sattva Guna becomes Vishnu, with Rajoguna becomes Brahma, with Tamoguna expresses Lord Shiva later on. But they're all later. But before that, at the like I have my own individual body, individual upadhis, expressing through that. I am called as one individual jiva. You are another individual jiva. In the same way, there is a total Sthula Sukshma Karana Sharira through which the total Paramatma is expressing that total conditioning's expression. Expressing the total conditioning Paramatma is called as Hiranyagarbha or Brahma Deva, not that Brahma Vishnu Maheshwara, Brahma Nama given to him. Other place is called as Mahat Brahma. In we saw yesterday in other text as Prajapati. Okay, of him Upasana is taught to us through he being the Atma of all the Vyahrutis. Now, by now, with so many repeated listenings, repeated talkings, we can understand that the world is nothing but the Vyahrutis, gross world, subtle world, causal world. But these exclusive worlds cannot be without the fourth one behind them, that is called is a fourth Vyahruti called as Mahat. In this way, in this world, for everything which is 1, 2, 3 yukta, there is always a fourth one. For example, the four were told to us. भूरितिवा अग्निः भुवरिति वायुः स्वरित्यादित्यः महिति चन्द्रमाः भूरितिवा अयं लोकः भुवरित्यसौ अन्तरिक्षं स्वरित्यसौ लोकः महिति आदित्यः भूरिति वै प्राणः भुवरित्यपानः स्वरितिव्यानः महिति अन्नम् isn't Bhuritiva, Pranaha, like that. Yeah? Bhuritiva, Ruchaha, Bhovaiti, Samani, Swariti, Ajogam, Mahiti, Brahma. So, what is all that taught in that if we observe? We are seeing the world, we are seeing so many things happening. Each happening is happening because of the three, and through the three, the fourth, unseen, unknown, but existing, is permeating. And because of the fourth, the three are happening. More important thing is, our attention is on the three, therefore, we are not able to see the fourth. The Upanishad's effort is to bring our attention to unseeable with the upadhis, but logically arrivable fourth thing which is the cause of the three. आंखों से नहीं दिखता लेकिन बुद्धि के विचार से समझ में आता है कि फॉर ऑल द थ्री व्याहृतिस द फोर्थ इज द substratum, fourth is the cause. That they call as Maha, and that is said as Upanishad mein Brahma. We have to discover it as an Atma. Then the Atma alone is everything, which is the final teaching and experience of Upanishad and the liberation that is indicated later on. So this word Vyahruti Atmanaha Brahmanaha means Saguna Brahmanaha Upasanam Uktam. That was done in our 5th and 6th Anuvakas. So again and again when we think about it, a clarity comes. With that clarity, sit on the seat of meditation for long period of time. We have to do this vicharana of how this Bhurva Swaha Vyahrati is working, how the Maha is becoming Brahma for them, cause for them. Everywhere. Thus become familiar with Brahma, tuned to Brahma. Mahat Brahma, the Chaturtha Vyahruti Atma. Okay. Bhurva Vyahruti Atmanaha Brahmanaha Upasanam Uktam. So what do we see? The multiplicity. That is functioning in the world. But all of that is permeated by the Atma of all that multiplicity called as Vyahrutis by the Mahat Brahma or Saguna Brahma. So I see the whole world. It is appearing to be disconnected with each other, independent with each other. Some places coordinatedly something happening. But who is monitoring that? Is that Saguna Mahat Brahma who is permeating in all of them and making all these pieces to happen in the world. That is what is called Vyahruta Atmanaha Brahmanaha Upasana Muktam. Then Anantaram, another technique was given, Pankta Sarupena, by another vision through the Pankta Sarupa, Tasya Eva Upasana Muktam. Of him only, of that Saguna Brahma, Mahat Brahma only, of him only the Upasana Muktam. So, by so many varieties of Upasanam, what is done? One way, so many ideas are given to you for doing Mahat Brahma Upasana. Second is what? Through this training. Whenever we are in the world, in any of the Vyavahara, involving any of the Sthula Sukshma Karana, involving any of the Nama Rupa, involving any of the variety of the things, don't lose sight of the Mahat Brahma permeating in and through all of them. This is the crux of all these 5, 6 upasanas. Whether you see the world from the standpoint of Panta, see that Mahat Brahma in them. See the world as the Vyavrutis, see the Mahat Brahma in them. You need the resources for Yajna and Upata Duta Kshaya, see the Brahma only in the Om and worship him. You feel the need of memorizing, remembering Tattva. For that, the bestower of that Prajna Shakti, Meda Shakti also, see that it is done for you by Mahat Brahma only. So too, whenever you are seeing Samhitas in this world, there also never miss the Mahat Brahma. Finally, even when you are studying grammar, when you are studying Vyakaranam or Bhasha, never lose sight of him. That is called as the achievement when all the upasanas are regularly done. So to that state we reach to. Now what's happening? When the total is forgotten, I become individual. When I become individual, others also become a competitive individuals other than me. Once this Dvaita comes, you cannot avoid the Raga and Dvesha. Once it comes, you cannot avoid the samsara. This is what we are living. Just like children fight, quarrel with each other, or talk to each other and waste time till the father comes. The moment the father comes, immediately by remembering him, while remembering him, they do what they have to do. In that, they may be studying together or working together, जो भी हो, अकेले खुद को पढ़ना है या दूसरों से कुछ काम करना है मिलकर, they remember भगवान, father. The moment father is forgotten or gone out, again either they eat, sleep, or fight with each other, waste time. Exactly what they have to do. Other than that, they do what is not to be done. They do. So too, in the in the forgetfulness of Mahat Brahma, naturally there is individuality created in me. I see you as another individual. Then I do some expectation from you, you do from me. We get attached. And when that expectation is thwarted, you become angry with me, I become angry with you, then aversion happens. Then throughout our life, you are in my mind with Raga Dvesha, I am in your mind with Raga Dvesha. In this bargain, all our thinking activities are based on that only, which are not called for, which are contrary to Dharma. In the total bargain, our main purpose of discovering the self beyond the individual or a total, gross or subtle, ये तो हमेशा के लिए भूला ही जाता है. Totally it is forgotten for many lives. That is what we are living now. The entire life of ours is tu मैं मैं. Maya और मोरा थोरता ही माया. Why Mahat Brahma is forgotten? But when you start remembering Mahat Brahma, Maya or Mora Toratai Maya goes away. Thereafter we discover what is beyond behind, even is this Mahat Brahma. Then we know it is Parabrahma. He alone is there. Then the question, when he alone is there, how come the world came? Then we say through his sankalpa, through his maya, or through his vision, all world manifested. This is told still for those still who are believing the world, and it is real. But for those who have recognized the Paramatma as it is experienced, they will not have a question. They say he alone is there permeating everything. There is nothing other than him to ask a question. But all Rupanama they are seen, yeah, it is he only. Why do you specifically worry about? No, 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 I want to know when is Nirguna Nirakara, how can his appearing as Rupanama? Okay, for your sake, we are introducing a topic because of his Maya Shakti. Ha, think then we are happy. To satisfy our query or our mind, that type of things are told. But otherwise not required. You are one with Parabrahma. Parabrahma alone is journey is completed. Destination is reached. That's later on. Before that, we have to free from our own inner and outer samsara. That is done only by one thing, dedicating all our individual efforts, resources, everything for the total. That is in the Purana Kala, the Rama, Krishna, Vishnu, Shiva are given, and we are told to do everything for their sake. नारायणाय समर्पयामि कृष्णाय समर्पयामि तेरा तुझको अर्पण क्या लागे मेरा These are all the things are taught to do so that I as an individual and taking others as individual and get caught up in this is avoided, and we are always in the remembrance of Lord. And that is also not the ultimate goal. Later on, having become that way pure devotee of the Lord, while conducting in the world what is required, called as dharma, not crossing those limits, when we become qualified at one day by feeling the fulfillment, कि जो करना है इस दुनिया में मैंने कर लिया, अब क्या? What's next? At that time, then we are told that Krishna, that Rama, whose upasana we did, to whom you dedicated everything, keeping whom as an altar you performed in the entire world, inquire about his true essential nature. When you inquire about him, he is found to be the Sadhana, Chidghana, Anandagana Brahma, and that alone is permeating everywhere. Therefore, that alone is permeating inside. That being Satchidananda, it cannot be an object because any object is Asat Achit and Ananda. Therefore, it has to be subject only. Therefore, that Satchidananda is you. That is how logically we arrive to that stage, which will be discussed thoroughly. We are going to study all. Let this Upanishad also take as many days as we took for मांडुक्य. क्या फर्क पड़ता है? एक एक चीज थोड़ा हम समझ रहे हैं तो. So this is what is said. व्याहृति आत्मनः ब्रह्मणः उपासना मुक्तम तस्य एव अनंतरम च पांक्तस्वरूपेण तस्य एव उपासनम उक्तम. So whether it is व्याहृति आत्मा उपासना, पांक्ता आत्मा उपासना, संहिता आत्मा उपासना, whatever the way you are doing it, the idea, the purpose is remind us of the Mahat Brahma. And why so many varieties are given? Because varieties, when they are given, it is entertaining for us to do. Only one thing is given, it is boring. There is extra efforts required. But in our Sanatana Dharma, that's why everything is variety. The gods are in variety, the Shastras in variety, the techniques are in variety, the Sampradayas are variety. So that everybody will get their own choice of thing, and the variety gives entertainment, so that through various sadhanas we reach to the same goal. And that's the beauty of the world. Like Lord could have made only one fruit and all vitamins in that. Why did he make variety of fruits, variety of flowers? Everything, variety is a beauty, variety is a magnanimity. Why don't you wear the same clothes every day? No variety. होता है कि नहीं. So in this way, all these were varieties given only for one thing is outside. That's how Mahadharma acting in so many ways to prove that. Second is for us an alambanas in so many forms. In this way, so many upasanas are taught to us of Brahma in the Veda mantra. In the same way, so many Devata Rupa, etc. are given for upasana in the Puranadi Kalam. Whether it is Vedic way of Upasana or the Pauranic way of the Upasana, the three more important things are most important. One is, are you doing Upasana or not? Second, through that, are you discovering one common Mahat Brahma functioning through all of them or not? Third, then when you set into inquiry about who is that Mahat Brahma, are you heading toward the ultimate Parabrahma or not? These are the three important things. You and I, as serious, sincere, genuine seekers, should become very pakka about. अब से हर एक चीज में पक्का होना है. Enough of all the half-heartedness or vagueness. Pakka about the understanding, pakka about the practices, pakka about the experiences, pakka about going to the next level of evolution. इस सब में हमको अभी बच्चों का खेल छोड़कर sincerely, seriously करना है. Then everything what is said to be experienced. That's the real nature. Else we only little bit listen intellectually, that's also vaguely, थोड़ा समझ में आया, थोड़ा नहीं आया, फिर वो भी भूल गए, और ऐसे जीते हैं दिन भर जैसे कि शास्त्र से, उपनिषद से, आध्यात्मिकता से हमारा कोई संबंध ही नहीं है. That's how we live the entire our other life other than the class. They are all called as बच्चा लोग. It's called है ना, न सांपरायः प्रतिभाति बालम. From that bachpana, we have to come to the sayanapana, wherein we research out and thoroughly understand whatever is said by the rishis. We should be convinced through our all logical thinking. Then we should do the practice as told, must also come to the experience. Like whatever the phalashrutis are told here, whether of this The Vyarti Upasana, Apnoti Swarajyam ityadi, whether it is Samhita Upasana, when it is told, ki etadadvidaya ruchi, all that Anusandhanam, Sandhiyate Prajaya Pashubi Brahmavarchasena Nadyana Swargyana Lokena. In fact, we must get them. Then only our theory is made practical, then only we are truly following the Upanishad. देखो ये बताया ये किया तो वो मिलना चाहिए, वो मिलने तक ये करना है, फिर ये बताया और ये करो वो पाने तक, फिर ये कर कर वो पाना है, तभी जाकर ब्रह्म विद्या बताएंगे, वो भी कर कर ब्रह्म को हम पाएंगे. If these are not done, only theory we listen big and don't do anything, continue ourselves to be a samsari as ever. Even Brahma Vidya is taught to us in the next to next vallis, both valli. All we hear, we don't do anything, we remain as samsari because we were trained ourselves like that. Now you understand why people, instead of study of Vedanta Upanishad, still remain as same useless samsari, because they don't take things seriously to the heart. That maturity is lacking. They are still like a child, even though he is taught so many things of morals, but he goes back to his own life of all the indulgences. So too even this, by the way, they thought it is neither in the mantra nor in the bhashya, but in our own personal thing, we should feel that, understand thoroughly, and start doing every other upasana. Then get blessings from Shruti Mata and the Devata Parampara, as promised by them, get the Falashrutis, then embark to the next levels. By the way, so in this Avatarika, Bhagavan says, Vyavruta Atma Saguna Brahma Upasana taught, of him alone, Panta Rupena again Upasana taught. So the outer three Panta and inner three. And towards the conclusion, what we said yesterday, he, inner Panktam is because of outer Panktam. Therefore, the inner Panktam's fulfillment is only in serving the outer Panktam. And the final fulfillment is merging in the outer Panktam. Panktam va idagam sarvam, pankte naiva panktagya sprunoti iti. See that beautiful thing. We have to practice it. And Bhashyakara told us about that exhaustively. कि पांक्तेन एव आध्यात्मिकेन संख्या सामान्यात् पांक्तं बाह्यं स्पृणोति बलयति पूरयति, means finally एकात्मतया उपलभते इति. This inner panktam is utilized to serve the outer panktam so much that finally it tunes to that much, that and this are no different. Finally that alone is working as this, and that is a fact. Samashti alone is expressing through the Vesti. Now the Vesti got separated and established own individuality, and fighting with the total and fighting with other individuals. Now this individuality Vesti should do the upasana of Samashti so much that he should merge in him in such a way that Samashti only is working through this. And that is a fact. Like my knowledge cannot be without the total knowledge. My emotions cannot be without. My thought cannot be without total. How can the thought come to me just like that unless it is there in the ether in subtle form? My Agni in the Deha is total Agni. My whatever the Jala is there in me because of the total. The Prithvi Tattva in me is because of the Prithvi. Is it not? The Jiva Bhava in me is because of Ishvara. The Atma Tattva is because of Brahma Tattva. In what way I can be a separate individual from total, except in claiming? That's called delusion. That's called ignorance. That is thickened so much that we are refusing to reject or give up this individuality. Unless this is given up, the absolute cannot be known. Then how to give up? Through the upasana to the samashti, the Mahat Brahma. Is it not? This is how the logic behind the upasanas, the purpose behind the upasanas, the benefit behind the upasanas. One benefit purpose logic is to become qualified for Parabrahma, which is ultimate goal. Second is to get out of all the problems created only because of individuality by merging with the total. The beauty of merging with totality is what? Functional level mein you are working as individual only, but never ever that individuality makes you separate from totality in any way. Like any part of the body functionals individually. The nose का काम अलग है, कान का अलग है, आंख का अलग है, but the feeling in them that we are separate totally from each other and total is not there. They are remaining as the individual organs, but then they always are working in tune with total. Is it not? Therefore, the total only working through them for the total. So too the individual should working as individual for the sake of total. This is called as liberation. From what? From individuality. And problems are only there in individuality, not in totality, which we were discussing every day. समष्टि में समस्या नहीं होता. So all problems become because of individual. Individuality means desha kala vastu parichinnata. Then looking at others as competitors other than us. All of that are mental imaginations, mental projections, mental hallucinations born in the mind out of not discovering the facts. Facts are all individuals are nothing but part and parcel of total, never separable part. They can never exist from the separating from the total. Like the finger is cut from the body, it can never live more than a minute or so. फिर उसका तो dead हो जाएगा. Recognizing this is upasana, and reveling in that is upasana. Always in tune with the total, thinking, working is called upasana. When it is done to a great extent, then how the total is working through the individual, because we are tuning to that, we become that position. We reach to that level. So the upasana, as it is said in Saguna Sakara also, concludes in the Sayujya Mukti. When the upasana is done, then we are taken care of in this world. When the upasana is done very intensely, then we are taken by the Lord to his world, like Lord Rama took all of them. Then in that Salokyata, we are given Samipyata with more upasana. Then we are given Sarupyata with much more upasana. Then there is Ayujam, you become one with him. Like it is taught in the Purana Bhasha of the Saguna Sakara Bhakti and its result in the Vedanta also this is said that you become one with Mahatbrahma. But that Rama or Krishna in whom I become Sahijya is not ultimate. Behind them the Parabrahma alone is ultimate. So here also behind Mahatbrahma is same Parabrahma. So always become familiar of these words, and when we become more purer, sharper and subtler, intellect starts thinking, understanding, and with the respect reverence to the Gurus and Shruti Mata, they bless us with a special intuitive intellect, which is beyond even intellectual understanding. And with that, clearly we can catch the things what they are. With that intuitive understanding, when you sit for meditation, then we'll be able to reject all the Nama Rupa Advaita Jagata. We can establish in that Mahatvaram, Parabrahma. That is how in the evolution it will happen. सब पता चलेगा. There on the path, आगे बढ़ते रहो, एक एक चीज अपना आप ही खुलता रहेगा. So here the Rishi says, the Shankara Bhagavan says, this is how the two upasana of the Mahatbrahma in two ways are taught. One is Vyavritatmaka Rup mein, second is Dipanta Rupa. Okay? Now, Idanim. Now in the next eighth Anuvaka, what are you teaching? Hey Guru, what is the Shruti Mata is teaching? Idanim Sarva Upasana Anga Bhutasya Omkarasya Upasanam Vidhitsyate. Yesterday we explained here that Omkara Upasana, which is to be done as Vidhi Vidhana, is going to be taught now, which is the Anga of all the Upasanas. Here the Anga means the central point or the important point, or without whom the other things will not be fully felt. That is called Anga. Yesterday we gave you example of some people are so important in a family that without them that function doesn't happen. So ये तो एक अंग हो गया. कभी कभी पड़ोसी के बच्चे घर आते हैं तो इतना फेमिलियर हो जाता है कि उसके बिना दिन गुजरता है. He has become as if Anga in that way. So in all upasanas, Omkara is Anga. Both in Pauranic upasanas also, without Om, even Japa cannot be completed. Shiva, 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 Rama, 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 Rama. No. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Sri Ramaya Namaha. They are always with Om. That is why it's called as Sarva Upasana Anga Bhutasya. Of Sarva Upasana means all the Vedokta Upasana Anga Bhuta. In that Vedokta Upasana, whether it is Mahat Brahma Upasana or whether it is the smaller gods Upasana of all these Mitra Varna Vayu Ityadi. So too, in the Pauranika Upasanas of the Rama, Krishna, ityadi. In all of them, in all types of upasanas, Om. In fact, even some people, those who do the Kshudra upasana, all of you, Om, Om, they bring Om there also. Without Om, there is no Upasana. Therefore, Om has become Anga of every Upasana. Of that Omkarasya Upasana, now is taught. Idanim Sarva Upasana Angabhutasya Omkarasya Upasana Vidhitsyate. You are qualified for now the higher Upasana, and that is of Omkara directly. Clear? Sarva Upasana Angabhutasya Omkarasya Upasanam Vidhitsyate. So become aware of meaning of every sentence. Earlier the two upasanas are told. It is about Pankta upasana as well as Vyartha upasana. Now we are given the Omkara upasana. What is the two important things we have to understand here? Omkara upasana is Anga of the every upasana. Now here exclusively only the Omkara upasana is being taught. Now, how it is being taught? Viditsyate. We yesterday explained to you, as a vidhi it is given. Vidhi means from the result standpoint, it is a vidhi. Means if you want that result, like I have to feel very fresh, alert. For this expectation, the vidhi is take bath, cold bath water. So taking cold water bath is a vidhi for feeling fresh. So to experience Paramatma, to be tuned to the Mahat Brahma, more effective, powerful technique is Omkara Upasana. Therefore, that way, those who want to reach to that level, Omkara becomes a Vidhi Vidhana Upasana. Therefore, Viditsyate. So, Shastra is suggesting, but Shankara Bhagavan is saying it as Vidhi. We have to take it as Vidhi and do. Does it mean the Vyarti Upasana, Pankta Upasana, but not Vidhi? They all are also Vidhi. And that Vidhi or not Vidhi is by choice, depending on my goal. If my goal is spirituality, then all the spiritual Vidhis I do. For me, the world is a goal, then all the Vidhis I do only of the world. Vidhi is duty. Viditsyate means as a duty we are taught the Upasana of the Omkara. As a duty, why? Like you join the office, company, therefore all those things are duty to you. Any day you can be free if you resign and go. But as long as you are in the office, coming on time and fully filling all the works given, that's your vidhi or not. The vidhi जो है depending on the goal and where you are employed. So here the goal is Parabrahma employed in the study of Upanishads. Therefore, as a sadhana, we have to do the upasanas. All of them are vidhi. Here, Omkara upasana also vidhi. Up to this clear? Idanim sarva upasana angabhutasya omkarasya upasanam viditsyate. See, when you study the Bhashyam in this way, with patience, one by one word, how beautifully, clearly gives us information. That when we repeatedly understand, repeatedly repeat and understand, then two things happen. One, the vagueness goes away. Then, as we said in the beginning, the pakkaness comes. What is the pakkaness here? Therefore, I must thoroughly understand and do the upasana of the Omkara because it is said as the vidhi. That pakka. Then with that vidhi vidhana, with the feeling that it is a vidhi, only then we take a omkara and chant it, master the chanting, and start doing all the upasanas of the om as they are taught here symbolically and based on what is said in the other Upanishads. Now, what is the glory of this omkara whose upasana is given? Is not given in this Upanishad. हिंदू उपनिषद जस्ट ओम इधर उधर यूज किया जाता है, इसलिए ओम सब कुछ है ऐसा उपासना कर. बट हाउ एंड वाई द ओम इज एवरीथिंग is taught in our other Upanishads. So Bhashyakara tells us little bit, remaining we take the help of other Upanishads and we understand. With all that understanding, then we get a conviction. This is how the glory of Omkara. Therefore, we must do the Upasana Omkara, and Omkara Upasana therefore is done in this way. ओम इसलिए इस कारण से ओम महान है, पॉइंट वन. दूसरा, इसलिए ओम का उपासना करना है. देयरफॉर थर्ड वन, ओम का उपासना इस तरह से करना है. These are the three topics we will be discussing today, tomorrow on the basis of Bhashyam and other Upanishads. पहले हम भाष्य पढ़ते जाएंगे. So what is taught in the next Vyaruti? Omkara Upasana as a Vidhi, which is the Angabhuta of the Ardha Upasana, means without Om, no Upasana is fulfilled or complete. Such great is the Om Upasana. Om Upasana, like any Upasana, is Om is there, it is so glorious. Hold on to the Om, everything you get. This is the way you hold on to the Om. Like Sri Rama is so great. Never hold on to the Rama. When you hold on to Rama, everything you get. Therefore, this way you get hold on to the Rama. So hold on to Rama through Valmiki Ramayanam. Then all the Falashruti half we studied yesterday, today we are going to do. Upasana means knowing somebody as great, useful to us, and that use he gives to us when we tune to him. That whole understanding and practice is called Upasana. Like I understand your greatness, that you're regular serious students. Therefore, I request you to be regular and encourage me. And that is called my Upasana to you. And obviously you do it so. स्वामी जी बुला रहे चलो जाते हैं क्लास में बैठ. Understood? Upasana. Everyone does Upasana of others depending on their requirement. The children do Upasana, mother pocket money. Mother does Upasana of the children for getting some work in the market. या घर का कुछ काम कर उपासना करती है. प्यार से पास में बैठना उस व्यक्ति के पास जो कीमती है जिनसे हमको कुछ मिलने वाला है. Is it very simple definitions? Always we do upasana. So Omkara Upasana. Now what is Omkara? One by one we will see. Now beautiful this is. Step by step let us study what Bhashyakara said. Then in that only from other Upanishads and quotations we have to take and add, we will add. First sentence is Parapara Brahma Drushtyahi Upasyamanaha Omkaraha Shabdamatraha Api Parapara Prapti Sadhanam Bhavati. Now, among all the Upanishadic literatures and Bhashyams, so many glorious sentences Sri Shankara Bhagavan has expounded and given us as a support. Among all of them, so many great are there. One of the top is this definition, which makes our understanding about Omkara simple, which makes us committed for the Omkara Upasana, and which makes us get the blessings from this Om. This is what already said in the Katha Upanishad Ityadi. वहीं से लेकर भगवान कह रहे. Bhagavan Shankara never says even one sentence without its authority in any of the other Shastra. कहीं ना कहीं होगा वो. Sometimes he quotes it, many times doesn't quote. We must know, being Shruti Smriti Purana Malayam, so wherever whatever he is saying, it has some authority. Now, in this sentence, the three sentences are said, three points are said, three thoughts are said. First is what? Para para brahma drushtyahi upasimanaha omkaraha. When the upasana of Omkara is done by taking it as para and apara Brahma. Okay, first point. Second sentence what? Shabda matraha api. Though it is only a syllable or a sound. You can reverse this sentence as like this. Ki Om, even though it is a sound symbol, only a one syllable, can be a word also. A syllable as well as a word is Om. तो केवल शब्द मात्र होने के बावजूद भी, listen carefully, Om, even though it is a syllable, Om, even though it's a word or a sound syllable, yet if somebody does the upasana of the Om, be attentive, taking it as para and apara Brahma. If somebody does the upasana of the Om, taking it as para Brahma, how do you take it as para Brahma? On the strength of Upanishadic authority, on the strength of some logical understanding, on the strength of faith. उपनिषद में बताया, लॉजिकली समझे, श्रद्धा भी है. इन तीनों के आधार पर, दो इट इज ए साउंड सिंबल, but if you take it as para and apara Brahma and do upasana accordingly, two sentences are told. Then what is the result that accrues to us? What comes to us? He says, para para prapti sadhanam bhavati. That doing the upasana of the Omkara, though it is a Shabda, doing its upasana by taking it as para and apara Brahma, that is sufficient enough to give us the prapti of both para and apara Brahma. Therefore, sadhana and sadhya are same here. ओम का परापर ब्रह्म के रूप में उपासना करो, that upasana takes us to the result of both para and apara brahma. The apara brahma result is what? Either getting everything from the apara brahma called as mahat brahma required for us, or merging with him. This is called as the benefit of getting from the apara brahma. Okay, that's called apara brahma prapti. What is apara brahma prapti? Whatever we need from that apara brahma, that we comes to us, or we even become one with him. Which is the theme which is what going on here. Apara brahma is, see what is said here, aha para brahma is said as prajapati. The same prajapati is called as mahat brahma. Same mahat brahma is called as hiranyagarbha. Is it not? All are same. Apara brahma, prajapati, mahat brahma, hiranyagarbha are that individuality, that I-ness, which is functioning through the total. That I-ness which is functioning the total. I also have I-ness, but that is functioning only through these five koshas. Only one upadhi. In the same way, imagine about the I-ness which is functioning through the samashti. He is called as Parabrahma, Mahat Brahma, Upasya Brahma, Hiranyagarbha, Prajapati. Here, Apara Brahma. Okay? The Apara Brahma is what? Prapti. In that, you get whatever you want from him or you merge in him. Then what about the Parabrahma? Parabrahma Prapti is, here also it's called Prapti, but it is only not in the sense of giving up something and entering into something. It is only recognizing that I am already Parabrahma. So, little difference. In the Mahat Brahma Prapti, it is merging in Mahat Brahma. Okay? Because I was feeling separate, I merged in. With the Parabrahma, the Prapti is what? Not merging. Then, because we were never separate from him, to be getting merged. We are always it, but we forgot, but we recognize it. Therefore, always the apara prapti is through prapti, para prapti through jnanam. Tasvai jnanatmane namaha. You see, in the introduction, the first mantra, jnanatmane namaha. That Atma ultimately is forgotten. It's jnana only required. Once you have the jnana, you recognize that you are eternally that, you are never separate from it. Hamesha ho aap ho hi. And we said to you one day, maybe 1 month back, anything which is lost because of ignorance is never lost. Anything which is gained because of jnanam is never gained. Like the necklace in the neck, it is lost because of ignorance. Really, it was not lost. Therefore, it is not gained. It's not that type of loss or gain. It is only non-recognition and recognition. That's called avidya and vidya, ajnanam and jnanam. It's only knowing. We are already the being, but forgotten it. Now we are reminded and we know it. We are already that. We are eternally Brahma. How many ever nataks we do at the individual and total level? How many of the karma we may do through all the janma parampara? हमेशा हम ब्रह्म है ही, पर ब्रह्म है ही है. लकीली वी आर दैट. अगर भूल जाते तो दोबारा ब्रह्म को खरीदना पड़ता था जिसका कीमत हम नहीं चुका सकते. By the way, so what is a beautiful sentence is, even though Omkara is a Shabda Matra, but if you take it as Apara Brahma and Parabrahma, then it will yield you the result of both Apara and Parabrahma. The result itself is Parabrahma, Aparabrahma here. Parabrahma result is recognizing that Aham Brahmasmi. Aparabrahma result is this individuality gets whatever it needs from the totality, gets it effortlessly, or it itself merges in the total. And then I get all leaves and permissions or loans from my boss. One day with effort, I myself can become boss. Again, that is the meaning of Aparabrahma Prapti. Parabrahma Prapti is knowing that I am Satchidananda all the time. So, why we have to do the Omkara Upasana? This is what is said. How to do also almost said, para ब्रह्म रूप में ओमकार का भावना करते जाना है जितना कि पर ब्रह्म ओम ही है ऐसा मानेंगे. Finally, Om, because we did Upasana para Brahma, Om starts giving us the results. Like I take Rama as my Bhagavan, I say everything as Rama, and when my Upasana of Rama becomes so powerful, which is other words, Ananya Shindayanto Mamejana Paribhasate Nityavayuktanam. When that is completed, suddenly we see Yogakshemam Vahamyam happening in our life. Because the Rama worshipped like that, Rama is bound to bless us like that. Here also, instead of Rama or Krishna, it is Om. Om is Apara, Om is Parabrahma. Now, next one is what? Sahi Alammanam Brahmana Parasya Aparasya Cha. Next thing. Finally, the greatest Alambana, greatest support to focus our mind's attention to catch. Both in Apara and Parabrahma is Omkara only. Sahi Alambanam Brahmana Parasya Aparasya Cha. For both Para and Apara Brahma, Alambanam is Omkara. And Omkara alone is not only Alambanam, he is expression of Para Para Brahma also. Now, if you study this Bhashyam and if you remember it, from which Upanishad is quoting this, you and I can understand. We saw in Katapa Upanishad, when the disciple asked, please tell me what is that beyond all the Dharma and Kruta and Bhuta and Bhavya. In the 14th mantra of the second Valli, didn't we see? Anyatra Dharmad, Anyatra. After all the discussion of, Yamaraj offering everything to this boy, he refused everything. Then he says, Varstume Varniya Sayevaha. Tell me that only, that only. Then the Yamaraj started saying, no, Sarve Deva Hayat Padmamananti. Tapamsi Sarvami Chayadvadanti. Sarve Veda, Deva. Sarve Veda Hayat Padmamananti. Tapamsi Sarvani Chayadvadanti. Then Yadichanto Brahmacharyam Charanti. Tatte Padam Sangrahena Bravimi. In short, I am telling you that Pada. What is that? Om Ityetatu. He said it is Om. Then in the next two slokas, he has summarized the glory of the Omkar. Isn't it? Etadevaksharam Brahma, etadevaksharam Param, etadevaksharam Jnatva, yo yadichati tasya tatu. In this sloka, Om alone is Parapara Brahma, it is said. Second, etadalambanam shreshtam, etadalambanam param, etadalambanam gnatva, brahmaloke mahiyate. By saying yo yadichati tasya tatu, the अपरा ब्रह्म रूप में उपासना करके जो चाहते हो वो पाओ कहा. And again, by saying etadalambanam shreshtam, etadalambanam param, etadalambanam jnatva, brahmaloke mahiyate, here doing the upasana of Om as Parabrahma, you become one with Brahmanubhuti. So, Aparabrahma, Parabrahma, Omkara. When the Om is taken and done upasana of both Apara and Parabrahma, both results will come to you. As an Aparabrahma you do upasana, Om, then yo yadichati tasya tatu. Whatever you desire, it comes to you, of this world and other world. Same Omkara, take a Parabrahma and do upasana, you become Brahmaloke mahiyate, means Brahmayeva loka, Brahmaloka tasmin mahiyate. In the Parabrahma anubhuti, you revel, you establish it. Therefore, etadeva aksharam Brahma, it is Apara Brahma. Then etadeva aksharam Param, then Brahma. यहाँ ब्रह्म का अपरम ऐड नहीं किया, वहां परम कहा, ब्रह्म नहीं कहा, तो you have to add aparam here, brahma there. In that main shloka. That's what Bhashyakara did. So, etadhi eva aksharam brahma. Etadhi eva aksharam param. So, etadhi eva aksharam brahma में अपरा ऐड करना है. So, etadhi eva aksharam means omkaram apara brahma. Second line, etadhi eva aksharam param kaha. Brahma add nahi kiya. Etadhi eva aksharam param brahma. You have to add. Therefore, etad omkara eva kshara brahma and akshara brahma. That is the meaning of that sloka. In this way, having taken Om as an alambana, as a symbol for the Parapara Brahma, keep on doing the upasana. Yo yadichati tasya tatu, if it is a Apara Brahma upasana, that is written there. Param chet jnatavyam, aparam chet praptavyam in the Bhashya. That is what we explained 2-3 minutes back. That which is gained lost because of ignorance is never lost. That which is gained through jnanam is never gained. That is Parabrahma. Because Parabrahma is never lost. It's only ignorance. Therefore, it's not gained. It's only knowledge. But the Aparabrahma, it is Upadhi related, there is losses and gains are there. Therefore, you do upasana of him, then get it. Therefore, it's the word used there, the word used there is Prapti. Generally, we talk about Brahma Prapti, but it is at the higher level, it is not Prapti, it's only Jnanam. प्राप्ति उसका होता है जो मेरा नहीं होता ना. अप्राप्त का प्राप्ति होता है. प्राप्त का प्राप्ति नहीं होता है, प्राप्त का ज्ञान होता है. ऑलरेडी प्राप्त का ज्ञान होता है, बट वो अज्ञान के कारण अप्राप्ति की तरह दिखता है. बिकॉज इग्नोरेंस इट अपियर्स दैट इट इज नॉट मी. दैट नॉलेज व्हेन इट इज गेन्ड देन इट इज डिस्कवर्ड दैट इट इज ऑलवेज मी. द डिफरेंस बिटवीन प्राप्ति ज्ञानम वी मस्ट नो. ब्रह्म का प्राप्ति नहीं होता है, ज्ञानम होता है. बिकॉज इट इज ऑलरेडी प्राप्त वस्तु. जगत का प्राप्ति होता है क्योंकि वस्तु है, और प्राप्ति जिसका होता है उसका अवगति गति भी मतलब उसका अप्राप्ति भी हो जाता है, वन डे छूट भी जाता है. एंड इवन द महत ब्रह्मा वन डे हैव टू ड्रॉप टू रिकॉग्नाइज द पर ब्रह्मा. अल्टीमेटली महत ब्रह्म को भी पकड़ कर नहीं लड़क क्या है ना, लटकना चाहिए, उसको भी छोड़ना है. देन ओनली वी एंटर इनटू महत पर ब्रह्म. ओके, नाउ परस्य सही आलम्बनम ब्रह्मणः परस्य अपरस्य च. For both para brahma, the alambana is omkara. Before that, the om, when it is taken as alambana for parapara and done upasana, though it is only a sound symbol, but it has its own capacity. Means the upasana of the om taking it as parapara brahma as a capacity to give us result both of parapara brahma prapti. In that, apara prapti is getting whatever you want from Ad Brahma or merging in him. Paraprapti here means recognizing the Parabrahma, that I am that. So, therefore, Upasana and Phala both are taught here, in short. And when we study the mantra and see the Bhashya, we are going to explain it little more detail. We are not leaving it. We will exhaustively study. So, Om, it is an alambana for both Mahat Brahma and Parabrahma, or Aparabrahma and Parabrahma. Therefore, taking Om as alambana, we are doing upasana of Mahat and Parabrahma, Apara and Parabrahma. How are you doing? Doing by taking Om alone as Apara and Parabrahma. How Om is Apara and Para, we have not yet discussed. That will come in the mantra and bhashya time. Tab hum padhenge. But the thing is, Om you take as alambanam and do the upasana, it will yield to you both Mahat and Maha, Para and Apara Brahma as results. Make this point stronger in your heart. And all the earlier upasanas were little difficult or vague. What are these Vyarutis? What is Pantam? That is how the Vedic way. In the Vedic Kala, that was familiar. That's how that language is spoken. So it was appearing to us, what is Sandhi Upasana? Kabhi Sanskrit सीखा ही नहीं, so we never know the Sandhi. We have never observed the words, so therefore we don't become aware of all these Samhita Upanishad. है कि नहीं? पांग तुमको समझ में आए नहीं, व्याहृति आए नहीं, but Om is easy. Om is a sound. Om is a sound. Om is a sound. That Om sound is both Parabrahma and Aparabrahma. That through Upanishadic explanation, logic, we are going to study. Then, doing the upasana of Om is remembering what we are taught, what we are going to study, contemplating on that only. That yields to us both the desired results. If you are doing the upasana Om as Apara Brahma से जो चाहिए मिलेगा, उनसे मर्ज करोगे. नहीं पर ब्रह्म के रूप में करोगे तो you recognize the Parabrahma as yourself. So, इदानीं सर्व उपासना अंगभूतस्य ओंकारस्य उपासनं विदिच्यते. Right now, Omkara Upasana is taught, which is the anga of all the Upasana. Omkara Shabdamatra api, even though we Shabda, Parapara Brahma Drushtya Upasyamanaha, when one worships on Om, taking it as Parapara Brahma, then Parapara Prapti Sadhanam Bhavati. It becomes sadhana for getting both Para and Apara, quotation of the Katha Upanishad we have seen. Therefore, Sahahi alambanam brahmana parasya parasya cha. Therefore, this topic is taken, and this Upanishad also giving us the Om as the alambana for the Parapara Brahma for the Upasana. So Om is the Alambana for Upasana. How to understand it? An example again given the same one. Pratima Iva Vishnu. Like the Vishnu, the Pratima called Salagrama is a Alambana for us to do the Upasana of the Vishnu. Let us understand the relation between the Alambana and Pratik and the one who is indicated through Alambana. Grossly seen, whom we are seeing, to whom we are pouring water and doing Chandana Kunkuma Adi, to do that Salagrama, a small stone. But heart in heart, what we are imagining that these Upasanas are done for is for the Vishnu only. Then what is the position of the Vishnu? Upasya. And what is the position of the Salagrama? Alambana. Therefore, the Salagrama became Alambana for doing Upasana of the Vishnu. Because Vishnu all pervading, who is staying in Vaikuntha, you cannot go there and choda pani dal ke unke sar pe. You can't come. And without doing the Upasana of all that, now we can come out of our Aham Mama, now we can get blessings from him. Therefore, an Alambana required, and through the Alambana, the Upasana we have to do. In the Pauranic Kala, it was Salagrama for Vishnu. And this is not mentioned in Veda because it's Vedic Kala. But Shankara told because he came after the Purana Kala. Therefore, we are familiar with Salagrama and Shivalinga. So if that example is given, we'll understand. Therefore, he is taking that help. जैसे आप सालग्राम में विष्णु का आमंत्रण करके विष्णु के ही रूप में सालग्राम को मानते हुए उपासना करते हुए सालग्राम के द्वारा विष्णु को पहुंच जाते हो. Either Vishnu comes and bless you, or you merge in Vishnu, or you discover your oneness with Vishnu. Vishnu comes and blesses you, or you merge with Vishnu, or you discover you are one with Vishnu. सालग्राम के उपासना से कर तो रहे स्टोन का, बट भाव उनका है, इसलिए अनुभव ही वही होगा. Here also we are doing उपासना of ओम. Then what is ओम? उपासना का आलंब. उपास्य कौन है? परापर ब्रह्म. Therefore ओंकार ही सह ही आलम्बनम ब्रह्मणः परस्य अपरस्य च. Therefore, if at all you ask one simplest thing as an alambana to do the upasana of parapara brahma, the entire Rishi parampara with all the thinking for thousands and thousands of lives have come out with Om as the bestest alambana, which cannot be replaced, which cannot be improved upon. कैसा ओम अपर ब्रह्म है, कैसा ओम पर ब्रह्म है, हम कल देखने वाले. कल पूरा दिन वही. Then this much only this Anuvaka speaks about. Then of the same Om, in how many places it is utilized, for example, it is given. All those examples will inspire us to take Om as Alambana for the Upasana of Mahat Brahma and Parabrahma. And through those examples only we are taught, as it is done in the examples, you do Upasana of Omkar. जैसा मका वैसे ही करो. वो एग्जाम्पल भी है और वही चीज हमको करना भी है. That we'll see day after tomorrow, day after, little by little. So today's in our introduction we have seen कि this eighth Anuvaka is talking about Omkara Upasana. Omkara Upasana is Om is taken as Alambana, and through that Parapara Brahma Upasana is done. And so far in the earlier Anuvakas, Upasana is of Mahat Brahma only done. Somewhere the Pangta is taken as the Alambanam. Somewhere the Vyahrutis were taken as an Alambanam. Somewhere the Sandhis were taken as Alambanam. And Upasana of Mahat Brahma done. Only, not Para Brahma. Here, both for Mahat and Para, Om is Alambanam. That is taught to us. This much आज समझ लो. कल जब आएंगे ओमिति ब्रह्मा ओमिति इदगम सर्वम. This is the entire Vedanta we have to understand. इतना ही है. ओम ही ब्रह्म है, पर ब्रह्म. ओमि इति इदम सर्वम. इदम इज अपर ब्रह्म है. This is what is the whole Anuvaka is over. उपनिषद को इतना ही करना है और इस तरह से ओंकार का आलम्बन लेकर परा और अपर ब्रह्म को तुम पाना. How did it was done? Is there any ways and examples both to prove the greatness of the Om as well as an example of practice तो ओमित्येतदनुकृत्य अस्मवाप्यो श्रावयत्या श्रावयन्ति ओमिति सामानि गायन्ति ओकं शोमिति शस्त्राणि सकं सन्ति ओमिति ब्रह्मा पसौति ओमित्यत्वरि प्रतिगरं प्रतिगृह्णाति ओमिति ब्राह्मण प्रवक्षन्नाः ब्रह्मोपाप्नवानीति ब्रह्मैवोपाप्नोति. These 7 6 things are how the Om is used by those people consciously while doing their day-to-day works, so that Om became alambana for them. Doing the Parabrahma Upasana, heart in heart, they know they can take the help of Om for the Parabrahma Prapti also. And that's so in the first four examples, the Parabrahma Prapti ke liye Omkar ka alamban ka example diya. The last one for Parabrahma Prapti. ओम इति ब्राह्मणः प्रवक्षन्नाः ब्रह्मोपाप्नवानीति ब्रह्मैवोपाप्नोति. We will see that in the second portion. With Omkara I will reach Brahma. In that way they did Upasana. He reached it. In the earlier one, with Omkara Ajalamana we do the yajnas. For this or that phala, unko hi mila. Kyunki through that Om they were worshipping Mahat Brahma that time. These are the examples. Before that, how Om is Parapara Brahma, we have to study thoroughly for once for all for our entire life. Then the Om should become Alambana. Every religion has Omkara. Even Islam, Christianity, what they do through namaz and all, उनको क्यों बिना ओम का उससे बढ़कर कोई चीज दिखा ही नहीं उनको. एक ओमकार सतनाम, they can't have an alternate. It's ultimate. They just shift it and say somebody says amen और कुछ कहते हैं, they all come from oh. One quotation is given here with which we conclude. Etena eva ayatanena ekataram anveti iti shrutehe. In the Prashna Upanishad Vesa, in the fifth Prashna, ki please Bhagavan katamam omkaram avidhyayata kenava apnoti. Some question is asked by Shaibhya Satyakamaha. To that Shaibhya Satyakama Prashna, the Guru, the Pippalada tells ki etena eva ayatanena. Ayatana support. With this one support of Omkara, Ekataram Anveti, one gets either Apara Brahma or Para Brahma. Ekataram means एक दोनों में एक. दोनों में मतलब दोनों जो तुम चाहते हो वो करो वो मिलेगा. This is a quotation. Okay. Now what is Omiti Brahma, Omiti Idagam Sarvam, Omityeta Anukurti Asmava, Pyo Shravetya Shraveyanti. All that is a good discussion tomorrow we are going to have. We'll take the help again of Bhashyakara's Bhashya, both of Kathopanishad, Mundakopanishad, and most importantly, the king of all Upanishads, the Mandukya. Uske आधार पर, whole Mandukya was only Omkara. That's what we are going to study. कठोपनिषद आज हो गया, प्रश्नोपनिषद हो गया. कल मांडुक्य के आधार पर मांडुक्य उपनिषद में भी the first प्रकरणम आगम प्रकरण के आधार पर Omiti Brahma, Omiti Digam Sarvam, we will revise it. That's it. Another 20 minutes, 10 minutes. Then all the other things which are said here as an examples. That everybody did Upasana of Om and they got what they want. And all among all those people, there were only two categories. One category who wanted Parabrahma, another category who wanted Mahabrahma. सब के लिए ओम का आलंबन बना. Therefore, take Om as Alambana, and through the Omkara as Alambana, do Upasana both of Mahat and Parabrahma. This is an advice given. Now it is left to us. We take the Om, we analyze Om, we understand Om, we understand the glory of the Om, then we take Om as Upasana Alambana. While doing the Alambana Upasana with the Alambana of Om, we get the results set. Ye hoga. It is told anywhere, no? Whole Ramayana is taught. Then Rama is so great, it is told. Then we are told to do Rama Nama, Rama Upasana, Rama Stotra, Rama Kirtan Bhajana. Then Sri Rama will come and bless you. Then those who do it, they get blessings. Simple. Everywhere, so na, you become civil servant, you become get a good position, post, name and fame, पैसे मिल जाते हैं. उसके लिए इतने घंटे पढ़ो, इस तरह पढ़ो, ऐसे एग्जाम लिखो, इतना पास हो जाओ, इंटरव्यू ऐसा करो. That is not. Whoever is doing it, they're getting that. Is it not? In the same way. No, I want a lot of mangoes. Then this is the land, plow it, sow the mango seeds are the plants, keep on taking care of them for 7 8 years. You know, you will see one day, summer comes, the whole grove is full of mangoes. Yavi, Omkara will be exhaustively explained. Holding on to his Arambana, doing the Apara and Parabrahma Upasana, getting the respective results is everybody's choice. Whoever takes choice and does, they get it. That's the point. Clear? What it is? Let's see tomorrow. Sarvam Omkara Rupa Apara Para Brahma Saranaravindar Om 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 Om. Next today's what we are studying is how and why the home is great, and therefore taking home as alambana we are making a great beginning. That's what our tomorrow's subject. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Paramarashibhyo Namaha Parabrahmane Namaha Shruti Mahatre Namaha Vedavasa Vaishampayane Agnivalkyadrashibhyo Namaha Asmadgurubhyo Namaha Tatsat Brahmarpanamastu. Yes, friends. Please stay back 10 minutes for one shloka of Viduraniti. Thank you.